Hello everybody, Dokkan Assets here. Today we are back with another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle discussion video. And this is a video that I've actually been talking about making in my last few discussion videos. This is something that I personally find really interesting, and maybe it's just because I'm so invested in Twitter personally. And I also run a rather large Twitter account that social media management is kind of interesting to me. And so I wanted to talk about it today with the way that Global has been handling the 6th anniversary on Twitter. Because as somebody who I'd like to think has sort of a keen eye for this sort of thing, there is a bunch of really interesting things that I've noticed that they've done throughout this anniversary, whether they've added things to their social media campaign or whether they've taken them away. To give you a good benchmark though, because unfortunately we can't really take a look at 4th year, I mean we can, but I don't think it's as solid of a comparison, we're going to real quick scroll through how 5th year anniversary went down on Global before we get to the 6th year anniversary one, to again give you kind of not only a baseline but just an idea as to why I feel like, hey, it is definitely very intriguing how they did it this time around. So let's go ahead and go through this real quick. We first of all had the announcement of the Facebook and Twitter campaigns. Of course, these are just various different campaigns throughout the celebration where you can get apparently up to a total of 81 Dragon Stones. Why 81? I don't know. It's kind of a weird number, but nonetheless, very cool. This was also for the Countdown campaign. They had a voting thing where you could vote for one of the login screens to become a wallpaper. And I actually do like this one just because, I mean, I don't know, I like that Goku Black render. But nonetheless, so that was tweeted out in the celebration. This was obviously after the Dokkan Now, I believe, or just as a little present. I don't remember which one. But nonetheless, obviously just some extra awards during the celebration. Cool to always see, by the way, the actual faces behind the developers, because I will tell you, a lot of the time when it comes to games like this, you never actually see the people behind it. And I understand that Dokkan is a rather big game, so it makes a little bit more sense. But at the same time, like, it's always nice to see that there's a human behind the technology, you know what I mean? Anyhow, so obviously we had the campaign countdown where they basically just counted down to the anniversary. This was pretty cool. They had these little quizzes every day where you could just get basically a little bit of rewards for everybody if you answered the quiz correctly with the right answer. That was definitely something neat. They had another quiz here, obviously. Basically just a little fun thing to get the community involved, which is always good. It's always cool when social media campaigns can do something to get the entire community involved in something. By the way, I do want to just throw this in here. Not super relevant, I suppose, but for those of you who are always asking me and asking in general, do they have high quality renders of the card arts? Yes, they do indeed, because look at your screen right now. We obviously have the various anniversary Gokus here, and they are in super high quality. Somewhere at Bandai's, you know, head offices and their servers and their files or whatever, they have all of the really high quality renders of the card arts. Obviously, they just scale them down so they fit with the file size of the game and how the game's code works. That render looks mad clean though. I hope they release them someday. Obviously, we had a little trailer, which was also a message from Vegeta's voice actor. We did get that this year too. More quizzes. You'll love to see them. I love these renders. Look at how high quality. Like, you've never seen that specific Goku Black render that high quality. You know what I mean? That's like the farmable Goku Black. Then, of course, we had the one from Masago Nozawa. And then we get into the actual celebration here, right? Obviously, maintenance and notices and whatnot. So, of course, whenever a new celebration starts on Global, they always tweet out one of these, which is basically just like, hey, celebration starting, get ready. And then, of course, you know, we kind of know to look in the in-game news and see everything that's coming for it. Then, of course, we had another campaign where you could basically get different missions to get the tickets for Vegito and Gogeta's banner, which was pretty cool. Always nice that, like, the way that these are formatted. Like, these just look pretty visually appealing, if I do say so myself. Some gacha games don't take as much care in making these things look, like, nice. So here is something very important to note. We, of course, have the details for Vegito and Gogeta here, right? Their full details in English with their transformed. We also had a little bit of a retweet campaign for Vegito's little mini movie. This is actually a really cool movie, I'm not gonna lie. They always do a pretty good job with these, I feel like. Just like making a hype promotional piece, which is literally for one unit, which is so weird, but I mean, it's cool. Like, everybody usually likes them. And then this was something that actually I don't think I've ever seen them do before, where they share like in-game footage of something. Like, a lot of the time, even when it's quality of life updates, they usually don't share this type of thing. So that was something neat for them to share. Hope they do more of that. Sometimes they do this, though, for different updates where they tweet out basically like what the different updates can do for you. And obviously this one was a little bit more important because, of course, skill orbs were sort of the focus of the 5th year anniversary. Every anniversary, as you guys know, has like a little thing where it's like, this is the focus of the anniversary, you know, like this year was the support memories. Of course, we had the announcement of the summon banner for the tickets, more mission completion rewards, showing that they completed the missions for the retweet campaign, and then, of course, the Gogeta info, as well as Gogeta's movie himself, right? Man, I really like the art for these guys. Like, it's almost like the art was made to be put into this movie, which, maybe there's a theory right there. I have no idea if that's actually true or not, but, I mean, hey, maybe it could be. I don't know. Then obviously the banner for the 55 ticket summon, and then we did have actually the super attacks of the unfeatured units tweeted, which was pretty interesting because most of the time they don't do that. But of course, you know, this being the anniversary, I guess it makes a little bit more sense that, you know, they would tweet it out for an anniversary unit. And then, of course, we had the info for them go up, the retweet campaign for them, and then the That's What I'm Saying campaign, which was quite interesting. Basically, share your polls and get Dragon Stones. You basically reply to the post with the hashtag and then a screenshot of your summons. Obviously, that could go very bad, but I think it was fine based on the replies. I don't want to click on it just in case something suspicious comes up. But anyway, of course, they announced when the banner came up, the Dokkan events for both of these guys. Nothing updated for that particular mission at the time, which is cool, though. I will say that even though, like, there was really no news, they still updated it. Because in my opinion, like, any communication is better than no communication, if I may be so bold. Anyway, obviously we had the Gogeta event, of course the Daily God event. They also completed the rewards for the That's What I'm Saying campaign. By the way, these hashtag campaigns are always a good thing, because this is just something to get the community involved, get the community, you know, coming together for a collective cause. And of course, obviously it gives us free rewards in the game. Of course, the Zero Mortals plan, they tweet about this all the time whenever there's some special item that you can buy, right? Of course, purple stones. We had the Frieza's Army test, more mission rewards, Dokkan event, Infinite Dragon Ball history, Transcendence. This was kind of funny. Obviously, it's like, it's kind of weird to see this with regular text, but this was just another like quiz type of thing. We had the special friends summon just like we did this year. Of course, they cleared that. Facebook and Twitter rewards, which was nice. More events, more quizzes. We're almost getting to the end here. And then they did actually tweet out the super attacks for Broly, Chila, and Lemon. Now, something interesting to note here is that they didn't actually tweet out the super attacks for Gogeta or Vegito. We did see them technically in like that little promo video. They obviously showed them in there, but they didn't show the direct super attacks, which I think is really interesting. But they did for these guys. Obviously the information for them, and then of course the super attacks for Big Papi Rose here, and then of course his information, the banner for them, the third part of the campaign, Zero Mortals plan, Extremes the area, Infinite Dragon Ball history, and then this was pretty interesting. Obviously this was just the super attacks for Kefla, and what was really interesting about this, I guess, is just that there wasn't really any like end to the anniversary. Like, they didn't tweet out anything like thanks for a great anniversary or anything like that. It was just, we're right into it. That's why I sounded so confused, because I was expecting something to be there. So that's a basic gist of everything that they did for the anniversary, right? Basically, TLDR, tweeting out events, tweeting out super attacks, promo movies, that kind of stuff, right? And obviously, some pretty good communication, all things considered. But I think that is an interesting thing to note, that they didn't tweet out the super attacks for those units. And as you can see, literally right after the anniversary ended, you know, they went back to the regular way of just tweeting out the super attacks like they did for Kefla and Vados there. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at this year, because this is something very important to kind of note in comparison as we go through here, how they handle this. So of course, we have the countdown campaign, makes sense. They also announced the returning campaign. They do this for all of the anniversaries, where basically like the more players that return to the game, the more rewards that we get, which is pretty cool. And then of course, they tweeted out a countdown each individual day, which is awesome because that only stirs up hype. And the thing was, with the anniversary here, they didn't actually do that every single day. Leading up to that, obviously, Nappa released before that, but it was literally just, hey, it's coming, and there's the countdown campaign, right? And I guess they did, like, kind of do that with the quizzes, where they did, like, the 5 days to go, but it's interesting that this year they didn't go the route of the quiz, and they made the actual, like, countdown part of it more of the focus. I just think that that's something interesting, obviously featuring every one of the characters. And then already, this was pretty interesting too. They obviously had a retweet campaign for Vegeta during the countdown, right? And this was another thing where they didn't actually tweet out the super attacks of these units. They just tweeted them out in this little retweet campaign, which was even shorter than the Gogeta and Vegeta one. I don't mean in like length of the actual like celebration, in length of like the campaign. I mean like in length of this, because this showed like almost all the super attacks. This obviously was just one. Another interesting thing to note about this too is the aspect ratio of this video. You'll notice that it's a square, and that's because Dokkan Battle, oops, just dropped a Goku. That's because Dokkan Battle now has an official Insta, and this is formatted perfectly for the shape of an Instagram post. So what I assume was done here is they just reused the same video for Twitter and Instagram, which like is not a big deal, obviously, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with that necessarily, but I think it's just interesting to note that, you know, that's clearly what they're doing here. But either way, cool to get a little super attack preview that way. But interesting that this was like during the countdown rather than after the celebration started, because obviously then we got the details of the units, and then obviously, you know, everything was full swing, or at least, right, it was made a little bit more apparent that way. Okay, so obviously then the celebration started, right? Actually, I just want to make sure that that's correct, because I feel like I'm goofing on that. No, that was after. Yeah, 1 day to go, and then they did the retweet campaign. As for this guy, it was 3 days left. Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure I had my ducks in a row. Well, I guess to be fair, no, this was actually the day before. Never mind, because this jumps from July 3rd to July 6th. Where did the rest of them go? Where did day 2 to 1 go? That's why I was so confused. All right, well, that makes sense. They both did it at the start of the anniversary. Then, obviously, they tweeted out when the campaign started. This was cool. Obviously, as you can see here, we got 80 Dragon Stones from various social media campaigns. Funny enough, last year was 81. I don't really think it's that big of a difference. It's interesting that they, like, even bothered to change that. But, of course, you know, they announced this again, which was nice. And again, very nice formatting here. So, of course, they talk about the Super Shinron missions. This is, of course, everything, you know, that you can get from these missions, basically. A lot of these, obviously, are obviously, like, in-game stuff. But it's interesting, too, that this is, like, a combination of Twitter and in-game stuff. Because, obviously, you can see here shares and the post, right? Whereas this is, like, Extreme Z Awakenings, you know, Master Roshi, all that type of stuff. So this was also something really cool that they did this year that they have never actually done. Thank you, Abel. That they've never done for anything in Dokkan history. And I actually really, really like this. This might have been something that they like kind of borrowed from Legends, because I know Legends during the anniversary, they didn't change profile pictures, but they did the thing where you could like tweet at Legends with the hashtag and they give you a specific character. This is sort of along those lines, but obviously a little bit different. Very cool though. Basically, if you went to this specific website, the website would basically choose a character for you, and then your Twitter profile picture would be made one of these, which I think is really neat, if I do say so myself. Obviously, this is just another thing to show the whole Twitter world, like, you know, hey, I play Dokkan. It's another thing to get the community involved. I remember when the 6th anniversary was going strong, I was seeing tons of homies with these profile pictures everywhere on Twitter. Like, my entire likes and like retweets that I was getting from people were all just these profile pictures, which was really cool to see, honestly, because obviously, you know, again, it promotes community. It's this cool thing of like, oh, you know, who am I gonna get? You know, oh, who did you get? You know, oh, well, I got Roshi. You know, oh, I got Gohan. You know, that sort of thing. So a very neat thing, and I hope that they continue to do this in the future. It's interesting too that it seems like with a lot of the social media stuff this year, they focused a lot more on the Twitter aspect of it, rather as last year they focused a lot more on the in-game stuff. The only really big Twitter thing last year was the retweet campaign for Vegito and Gogeta, and obviously the quizzes, which they kind of ditched this year, which was interesting. Obviously, we had the tickets go up, of course, the banner go up, and then we had the information for Vegeta get tweeted out, but interestingly enough, again, there was no super attacks tweeted out for him, and even more so, like, all of his super attacks weren't anywhere, because of course in the Gogeta and Vegito video, they tweet out the lot of them. So then of course we had the retweet campaign for the homie Goku. Again, this is literally just the active skill, which unfortunately gave people a preview to the stinky active skill. Whoops! But nonetheless, again, formatted for Instagram. And it's interesting the way that they also kind of format this video as more of like a promotional piece outside of just the retweet campaign, because obviously at the end there you see it says Dual Dokkan Fest coming soon, which I think is kind of neat. And again, like I said, then not only can they use this for this retweet campaign, they can dual this as an advertisement on other platforms. So yeah, pretty cool if I do say so myself. We also have, of course, the Redstone. Makes sense that they would tweet out about that. We, of course, cleared the Vegeta campaign. Look at how great this render looks, by the way. Just wanted to throw that out there. Man, I really hope we get proper HD renders of these guys someday. Of course, we have Roshi's challenge, and then they tweeted out the info for Goku and his other info. Now, this was also kind of interesting. So, again, they tweeted out the unfeatured units, but, again, they did not tweet out the actual anniversary units, which I'm glad that they tweeted out these guys, because obviously it just kind of drums up a little bit more hype, and I guess we didn't really need them because, you know, I mean, obviously we know what they are already from JP, but at the same time, it's nice that they tweeted them anyway. It's kind of a shame that it got flagged for whatever, that you have to actually click view to view the video, but it is what it is. So, cleared Goku's retweet campaign, then we obviously got the information for those two, and then this was even more interesting. So, again, no animations for these guys, but you could actually technically see a little hint of their animations from this right here. And basically what this was something where if you replied to this tweet, right, you got to see a random revival animation of either Goku or Vegeta, and they would tweet this at you, right? You can't interact with this anymore because obviously this was like a timed thing and it's not there anymore. But basically, if you tweet, you know, you'll get a reply, basically. You know, I think it's interacting with this post, retweeting the hashtag. Whatever it was, though, you basically got a preview of Goku or Vegeta's revival skill, which was interesting. You couldn't download the video, by the way. I checked. It was a different type of embedding into Twitter's, like, you know, video playing format. So, again, a little teaser of the animations, but not showing them flat out, which I just think is really interesting. It's obviously Majin Buu's Shape Up training. Dual Dokkan Fest, of course, they had to show the banner, of course, the Super Shinron missions, and then the Dokkan events too. Again, another interesting thing to note is that they are tweeting these out in the image format of Instagram, which makes sense because obviously then they can just chuck these up on the gram and they don't have to crop anything. Which, I mean, like, nobody's complaining that they're this size. They do look a little bit weird, I will say, with the, like, actual text size. It looks a little bit awkward, but I don't think it's too bad. Then obviously we had the Miracle of Universe 7, the Purple Stone, more Shinron missions completed, of course the God event, which everybody and their mother just loves, the Dokkan Virtual Clash, and then of course the top grossing rewards. I believe we did get top grossing last year too. I don't know why we didn't see that in our scrolling through the tweets here, but I know for a fact that did happen. Maybe they just didn't tweet it out last year, because I mean we did look through the whole thing and I did not see it. But anyway, they tweeted out the top grossing awards, which is cool. Of course, all the Shinron missions finally completed. B-Pan, another first place rank awards, which was just more stones, which was really cool. Then obviously part 2 of the campaign, the updates for all these events, Goku's EZA, and then this was quite interesting, I thought. They tweeted out Roshi's animations closer to when he could actually be awakened into LR, even though it was like, I don't know. I don't want to say it was kind of pointless to tweet it out then, but I mean, it makes sense because, of course, it's like, oh, well, you know, now you can awaken the unit. So, you know, now we're going to show you what it looks like when you're, you know, about to awaken the unit and get their multiple super attacks. Update to the God event, of course. And then we had this too, which was the promotional video and, of course, retweet campaign for Golden Frieza and Android 17. Obviously very cool, just showcasing some of their super attacks here, and a little bit more than actually Vegeta and Goku got with just their active skills. Obviously here we get these guys active skills and then one super attack. As well too, at the end you see that they kind of use this as a promo video for the banner too, where they say that the top legendary summon is on the way, and again it's formatted in the square aspect ratio, aka the gram, baby. Which again, I mean, makes sense because it just makes it easier for them. This was just the Dragon Ball Super Comic-Con booth, of course, Infinite Dragon Ball History. And then they tweeted out about these guys. Very interesting that they tweeted out after the animation. I guess that makes sense, though. Then, of course, completing this, the special friend summon again. Because, see, look at this. And then for this one, oh, no, they did tweet this one out prior. Okay, I was going to say. It's just the way that Twitter formats it. Twitter's stinky, bro. Regardless, as you can see, yes, so another promotional video for these guys. We have the active skill. 6th anniversary is here, and then top legendary summon again. And then, of course, their stats and whatnot. Clearing the event, of course, the banner, and then Patan Battle came with the anniversary, which was pretty cool for the Series 2. I really like this Patan Battle image, by the way. Very, very cool. Again, also HD renders of all these guys, too. Please give us more. Tons of thanks, which was really cool. This was basically, we could just get a lot more summon tickets, which was very nice of them to do. Obviously, since JP didn't get tickets, you know, it was really cool to see this at all. And then, I made a whole video about this, but this was really cool. Obviously, we had the dev letter, which basically it just talked about some updates coming to the game and some new stuff coming through. I did talk about this a little bit in the actual video that I did on this topic, but I do want to say, I do hope with this dev letter, they do more than just showing what's coming up to the game. As much as I do like what they showed, I think what this is this is a fantastic baseline for them to jump off of and continue to improve this format in the future, right? Because it's always cool to get a little bit of an update from the dev. And obviously, you know, it would also be really cool if we eventually got like behind the scenes sneak peeks, or, you know, then if we have any problems in the future, we can kind of get a little dev letter in this format. But it is cool still to kind of see it in this way. And it's the fact that they presented it as a producer letter is what's so cool to me. Very good stuff. Obviously, this is not something that Global Dokkan has ever done before, and that is something that global players have been wanting forever, is more communication with the game's developers, right? I mean, JP doesn't really have that as much either, but obviously, of course, with Global being the version that it is and how it works, you know, in like the Dokkan balance of things, it's always important that they get some communication with the devs. So yes, very good stuff here. You love to see it. We obviously did hit first place for the top banner, which was pretty cool. You love to see it as well. Then of course the part 3 celebration. This was another awesome thing that they did for the social media campaign, the My Dokkan Team campaign. Unfortunately, I didn't actually really participate in this because somehow I missed this. I remember seeing about it afterward, but I didn't actually get to participate in the original thing. Regardless, though, basically, people used hashtag #MyDokkanTeam, and they tweeted a screenshot of their best team, right? And the reward was 15 Dragon Stones. And then basically, if they got 2,000 tweets, then, you know, people would do it. And I mean, look at how many likes and everything that this got. So, you know, makes sense. Then, of course, comments counted for this as well. Also, you know, funny haha. But, of course, obviously, they had to join in, too, with the... What, are those... Please tell me they screenshotted that when there's just like the dupe system investment little like flashing light for the star is just dimmed out. Oh boy. Regardless though, this is awesome. Again, another thing that gets the community to come together and share something that they love about the game, right? They can meme it up a little bit too if they want. It gets everybody involved. It's something really easy that everybody can do because obviously everybody can just screenshot their team, right? And I really, really like this. And obviously getting rewards for it too is nice. And then, of course, you know, people can maybe find each other in the community looking through this hashtag or whatever. It's cool. I really, really like this a lot. Again, focusing a lot more heavily on the social media side of things for the celebration. Of course, this was a big dub for Global as well. The Extreme Z Legendary Summon, which of course JP did not have this for Go Frieza, which was weird because this was the only EZA banner where the EZA unit that was, you know, getting the EZA did not have a way to obtain them featured on a banner. Obviously you could get them unfeatured on the top banner, but not really that easy. Anyway, the actual EZA going up as well. And of course, the EZA area for all of these hooligans, the God event, Explosion Chain Battle, and then, of course, the completion rewards for the My Dokkan campaign. Now, of course, the anniversary isn't over just yet, so it makes sense that there isn't like a, you know, end of the anniversary type of thing. If we take a look at the current summons list, this should give you a good idea. Obviously, Global has about 2 days left ish, of course, you know, time when this video is uploaded and when you watch it and all that stuff, right? Until the actual celebration is over. So of course they still can tweet a few things before the celebration is over. So it'll be interesting to see if they do some kind of like, hey, you know, thanks for the anniversary, here's some extra awards, that type of thing. I don't really think they'll be doing any other like big social media campaigns like they've been doing throughout this anniversary, but nonetheless, my overall thoughts on all of this, because I know we've gone through a lot here. This is very good. I like this. The direction that they are going in on the Twitter account here is something that I really, really like to see. Again, the dev letter is a huge highlight of this anniversary. The fact that, you know, they're even bothering calling it a producer letter, dev letter, whatever, and talking to the fans that way is so cool. Absolutely love that. I really hope they do more with that in the future. I love all these various social media campaigns, like the My Team campaign. Obviously, the retweet campaign is something easy because everybody can just, you know, retweet it, right? I love the different campaigns that they did with, like, the summon thing. Obviously, the profile picture meme was pretty cool. I really, really like the direction that they're taking it in. Even these little things where you can interact with this tweet and then get a reply. It's a very cool thing that Twitter has implemented. And so I'm glad that Dokkan is taking advantage of it. It is also interesting as well that they did not tweet out the complete super attacks of these actual units, right? It almost makes me wonder, and again, like, funny enough, I was sort of talking about this on stream, which what I'm about to say, what I talked about on stream kind of makes this point mute, but it almost makes me wonder if, like, they didn't tweet out the full essays because they know that people will just re-upload them. But at the same time, like we were talking about on stream last night, twitch.tv/Dokkan, by the way, had to plug it. The opportunity was right there, bro. I'm sorry. With that, right, as much as we'd like to think that we have a very large Dokkan Twitter community, which we do, keep in mind, probably like maybe 5-10%, maybe a little bit higher, but it's not the entire player base that follows Dokkan social media and keeps up with various different Dokkan, you know, like YouTube and Twitter accounts and all that type of stuff, right? A lot of the player base is not involved in social media. And so I really can't say that the reason why, you know, they didn't tweet out all of the super attacks was because of the fact that people would re-upload them. I can't say that with full confidence. I suppose that's a little bit of just speculation on my part. But I do think that it is something interesting to note that they didn't ever tweet out all of the animations. It could also just be, you know, then that kind of encourages people to log into the game to see them either on the banner or, of course, summon for the unit to try and see them. It also is kind of interesting to think that maybe they were just that confident in what they showed that it would get people that excited. Or maybe this is also Global subconsciously kind of acknowledging, or maybe consciously, acknowledging the fact that obviously we've seen these animations on JP time and time again. So really we don't need to see them again. And what people are interested in, of course, are the voices, right? Because whenever Global Super Attacks, come out, that's what people are mainly interested in, right? They're interested in hearing the voices of the, you know, English-speaking characters. So maybe it's that too. There's a lot of factors that could definitely go into this. But overall, I really, really like the direction that Dokkan is headed in terms of the global Twitter account. I said it on the title of the video, and the thumbnail of the video. I don't think I said it in the beginning. I completely forgot to say it. But KOTO Supremacy, baby. That's obviously the other main reason why I'm making this video, because of course a couple of celebrations ago when we had the new Dokkan Now, we of course found out that Dokkan had a new social media producer, KOTO, and of course she is the one that is running the social media shenanigans here over on twitter.com. So I would say that she is doing a fantastic job as the new social media producer for the game. I'm really, really liking the way that she's taking it. I hope that she continues to run with this train. Obviously, during the anniversary is always a big time for the game. And of course, a lot more like tweets in general and just hype is surrounding Dokkan. So I hope that they don't lose that momentum that they have with all the cool Twitter stuff that they do. Obviously, they don't have to do as many Twitter campaigns for when it's not like a major celebration. Like, of course, when it's just a normal Dokkan Fest, I don't expect them to be doing 3 or 4 Twitter campaigns, you know, while that's going on. Like, I don't even really expect them to do one. Like, maybe that would be cool, but when it's a bigger one, then obviously, no. I love the interaction. Anyway, that is going to do it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed. I know this was a little bit of a longer video, but this is kind of right up my alley. I really like analyzing this sort of thing, and I really like taking a look at how these big social media accounts are run, because I just think it's super interesting. And obviously coming from a person who has like, what, 16K on Twitter, and that's not a flex. I'm just saying I like to see how other big social media accounts are run, because then not only is it cool to just see how, you know, my favorite games are doing, it also gives me some ideas for my account too. So good stuff there. Anyway, I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of all of this in the comment section below, as always, of course, and I will catch you in the next one. Dokkan Assets out. Peace.